course, the trial, so they say yes, it could be shifted as early as April. And then, or it could be after the summer.
Yeah.
Would help.
She said, yeah.
Yeah, so 10 to 15 years and
I know.
3 months. So I get the word out. The line from the was.
Oh, well, it's not. She was right there on the carpet. It's better on the carpet.
A lot is only. Yeah. Maybe it was Louise, but it was failure.
That'll be the big
Might have
problem.
been, maybe it was Louise.
That's true. Do you want to hear?
She'll be in. For the.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I saw her.
Right behind you.
Yeah, maybe somebody, yeah, she's.
Let's see, yeah.
Behind you.
Here, try and sit in front. Just move it over there.
Hey, how you doing?
He's gonna try to move.
He's going in there? Sure.
Yeah. Because it's, yeah, can you move up?
Well, somebody else will be back now. I have to see
You're
her
Janine, how are the young adults?
Okay, that works.
You're okay. This is my friend Steve. This is Red.
Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. I haven't had COVID and I don't want
I wondered if it was. I wondered if it was very. No, well, you never do.
I don't have a mask in my head extra.
Yeah.
Because I want to drink cider.
Yeah, I'll take a second.
No, I wouldn't.
That used to be probably a magic.
There is.
I knew you had those.
I know, you've never seen them.
No, we talked.
When you think of
It's not really a big deal. So you come between you and your friends.
it's just rich.
Stop going out.
He's got the wrong number and hangs up. Now, I don't know if it was him or not, but I dialed the number that was on the screen. I double checked it.
Is it 849 or something?
No, I got to.
Yeah, that's the.
And then
Yeah.
I reached out. Together.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah, it's right the storm. Every time it's
I mean,
Everything's fine.
a tree down, just around the
And then
corner.
Really?
Down there. Trees, my roots go straight down. It looks like down in LA. It's like around from the end.
Jesse
That day with the shirt you
bookstore.
But I
That is very interesting.
remember?
Going up the grapevine.
I know. And not talking. Yeah, there's so much more part. Like even in the price like both of
It's not like we were ever in any danger. It was just sort of slow and amazing. I guess it was like the car.
it was something to remark about.
Just weren't having it.
We were I was so mad. And then, what saves us. You're like,
Yeah.
It's good for that.
it really is.
Not just beer, I mean, in general.
Exactly.
What's the-
You're not mad at it.
what's the love like? It's getting all kind of, I can see it's
Would you be willing to share
physically.
the
Same.
information?
I took Jim last night. I took Jim like 6 times.
Where do you two know each other from?
My old boyfriend.
Oh, from
Boyfriend.
where? From where geographically? Here? Okay.
Yeah, he was in Twin Peaks.
Oh, I know Twin Peaks. I was born in the city.
Yeah.
How about you? What's that?
Where were you born in the city?
Right over there, St. Mary's Hospital.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the building I was born in, they tore down and built a new one, but the location is the same. Right at the edge of Golden Gate Park on Stanton and Page, I think.
Yeah, actually,
Wow, Stanton, yeah, I know that.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
and then with Robert Gallup and some other who were Solidarity Movement members, we lived on Lake and Haight right next to the
1 2
post
1
office.
2 1 2 1 2.
This is kind of right.
Peace, peace, peace. How's everyone doing?
Good.
All right. My name is Opium Sabah. I am a local San Francisco activist, hip hop artist. I am also on the Leonard Peltier official ad hoc committee. And on behalf of the ad hoc committee, we would like to thank everyone for being here with us tonight. On the anniversary of Leonard's incarceration and wrongful arrest, which marks the 48th year of his incarceration. So we are all here amongst many other groups of people across the country today, standing up in solidarity against what has been happening to Leonard for over 48 years now. I think we all know Leonard's story pretty well. Myself, I learned about Leonard Peltier at a very young age. I actually grew up here in the Bound Together Anarchist Bookstore Collective. My parents had a theater group that used to rehearse in the back. So this was definitely a starting point for me as a young child, you know, learning about anarchist leaders, revolutionary leaders, and Leonard Peltier was definitely among some of the first people that I was taught about and learned about in places like this. So it's definitely an honor to be here with you all and to be standing up and speaking out and coming together for Leonard. So if you will just give us a brief moment, we're going to have our first caller, or our first speaker, call in and speak to us. Her name is Dawn Lawson. She is Leonard Peltier's personal assistant. She is also a board member of the official ad hoc committee, and she is definitely the roots of this committee, you could say. She brought myself and a lot of other people on board on the committee. So let me get her on the phone and she will tell you more about herself and what we have going on for Leonard and amongst the committee. And give yourselves all a hand for being here. We definitely appreciate you all being here with us.
Is this on live now?
Yeah.
While we're waiting for that caller, do you mind if I make a quick announcement about the coffee?
Sure.
Okay, just keep it as brief as possible. My name is Brian. Donna is also here. We're from Silicon Valley, San Jose area. And my mother's from Peru originally. That's where the coffee is coming from.
Okay.
Supporting families. So if you make a purchase of a bag, $2 from us, the donation will go to his legal case. We know there's been some difficulties, but we want to make sure that money goes directly where it needs to go. And this company has been around for about 4 years only, but there's some cover the cost. You know, we are supporting families first because we offer them something to support themselves and their families because they work hard. All right, my father was English Canadian, so I look the way I do. I do speak Spanish. I've been here in this city, so I feel nice to come back to San Francisco and be amongst people that care about this. This is more important to me. That's why I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right,
I have
so
coffee
let's
samples if you want to try it.
give this a try.
You want me to bring the pot out?
Hold on, Don. We're just kind of trying to figure this out here. Yeah, I'm gonna do it better. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, hi. My name is Dawn Watson with the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee. I would really like the honor of being there with you tonight. I had to break out of the hospital yesterday. I spoke to Leonard today and he told me, he says, I would have got you out of there. I said, yeah, I'll bet you would have. So I've got Leonard's February 6th statement. My life was taken 48 years ago at 11 a.m. This letter that my adoptive mother Ethel and her daughter Donna placed on my shoulders as I was taken in the bitter cold of Canada was a kindness that I still remember. I could not foresee that 48 years later I would be entombed in a lockdown nightmare. I live in lockdown for no reason other than they can get away with it. If I had been tried with the others, I would be a free man. They were rightly found not guilty by reason of self-defense. We were under attack. We were facing the extermination of our people. Justice never came for those they killed. I was chosen to be the sacrifice to cover up the crimes committed on that reservation. I am not here because I committed a crime. I am here because I stood in the way of their greed and corruption. James Reynolds, state attorney who supervised my prosecution, has admitted that they could not prove I committed any crime. He stated we were not able to prove that Mr. Peltier himself committed any offense on the Pine Ridge Reservation. Times has become so twisted with these lockdowns that night blurs into day, and the asthma of time that has no sense to it. All hours are the small hours of the night. Life itself is suspended. We wait for a brief glimpse of what life looks like. We exist in cold, filthy cells, and we wait. The voices of those murdered on Pine Ridge Reservation are a constant echo in my mind. Time has become a weapon that they use to try and annihilate the essence of who I am. They have done their best to break me. They started by holding me in a lifeless cell block in Canada, telling me that I was awaiting my execution to try to force a confession. But no one can break the spirit of the Sundancer. I have fought for my freedom every single day of these past 48 years. You, my people, my supporters, my family in a very real way, lift my spirit and enable me to hold fast to the beliefs they want me to denounce. You get me through these hours that last for days or years. Keep fighting. Fight the parasitical influence of colonialism. Fight the lies, the greed, the corruption of the oppressor. Fight for the survival of our people. The greed and corruption of the colonizers is infectious. My own committee, which has stood behind me and been a training ground for activists for over 4 decades, was lost to the parasite of greed and corruption the colonizers infected us with. The very greed and corruption that imprisons me will be the undoing of those who take too much. Power arises from truth, from the willingness to give voice to that truth, from lifting the voices of your brothers and sisters when they speak their truth. Truth is power. That is why they try to silence us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They also know they are losing their ability to silence us. Take care, my relations. Ask the Creator to set your path before you. Live in ceremony. When I choose my actions, I watch carefully to make sure those actions come from spirit, not ego. Sometimes the greatest enemy we'll face comes from within. At times I want to lose myself to rage. The rage of being unlawfully imprisoned. The rage that drifts through the air here. The haze you can almost see. That arises from men caged in conditions that would be illegal for dogs. If I allow that rage to take me, I may never come back. That is not who I am. I know who I am. That is why I am still not here, still here. I will not lie. I will not grovel. I will not beg. I will not denounce my beliefs. I will not betray myself. I know you are out there, my relations, my friends, my supporters. You know the meaning of me to create the option. You give me the courage to stay strong and face the eternal twilight hours of lockdown. I know you are fighting for me, fighting with me, fighting for an end to the oppression and tyranny that takes so many of us in so many ways. I've heard a new cry going out, not one more year. It has been said that I am a common man who stood up to an uncommon enemy. People think of me as a symbol. I suppose I am, but I am a man. A man who wants to go home to his family. Let this be the year that common sense prevails. Let this be the year that liberty and justice for all are not words that ring hollow. Let this be the year that America learns to live up to its own principles. We will prevail. Our children will know who they are and know they are cherished. All of them, not just a privileged few, will rest so hungry and lose their connection to Mother Earth. That connection is everything. Never, ever forget who you are. Mother Earth births us. She fires her blood that runs through our veins. She takes us back to her womb when our journey ends. We will prevail. I can see a world that is not powered by lies, manipulation, and greed. This will not happen by magic. We must come together, my brothers and sisters, in solidarity, and let the truth eliminate the dark recesses of society. It is time. In the spirit of crazy horse, joke chef Leonard Peltier.
Oh.
And I got a bit emotional when I read that. Leonard's 80. He's losing his vision. It's time for this country to wake up and realize the FBI are not, they're not the good guys. They quit focusing on crime around J. Edgar Hoover and have been focusing on political and civil dissent, whatever that looks like to them. Anything that challenges the status quo. They are untouchable. I thought I would have the honor of standing with Penny, one of the Uhuru three. They just raided their St. Petersburg houses, and they were so blatant. They put tape over the security cameras. It's like, we're going to do that bunch of illegal stuff, and we don't care who sees it. Nobody holds them accountable. We have to start holding them accountable.
Right.
And telling the truth and making people aware. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
Wow. I'll let everyone give everyone a moment to soak that in. That was very deep. It's always a very deep moment of reflection for myself, listening to Leonard speak or listening to his statements. Me, Jennifer, and Tom were talking earlier. I'm 46 years old. I was born in 1977. So for me to think about the fact that this man has been in prison longer than I've been alive is pretty mind-blowing and upsetting and infuriating all at the same time. And with that being said, Leonard, amongst other things, his high priority is his people, is the well-being of his people. And for those who may not know, the Native American way is very much, when he says his people, that includes everyone, all of humanity, all of humankind. It's very much the Native American way to help out your brother or your sister or your family member when they're in need, financially, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it may be. With that being said, that says a lot about the man and about his priorities and what he's, 48 years later, still standing up for and still using his voice and still speaking out against the powers that be and the oppressors. So with that being said, we will go into our next speaker, which also will be via phone, Tribal Chairman Charlene, who is actually running for Congress, and she can tell you a bit more about what she has going on. Hey, Charlene, are you ready to go? Okay, I'm going to put you on speakerphone and you can go ahead.
You ready for land acknowledgement, correct?
Yes, and we're live and we're ready when you are.
Wonderful. Jorge Tusi Kanagrata Charlene Nishme. My name is Charlene Nishme, and I'm the chairwoman for the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area. I would like to start by reading our land acknowledgement. We would like to recognize that while we come together for the celebratory event honoring Leonard Peltier, we are gathered within the ethno-historic tribal territory of the Yalamu, Aramay, Sandstone, Lambton, Ramayatush, San Francisco, Kokonon, Ohlone-speaking tribal groups of the San Francisco Peninsula, who were intermarried with the Puchun, Samian, Ohlone-speaking tribal groups of the San Mateo and Santa Clara counties, as well as the Yalamu, Aramay, Ramayatush, who were also intermarried with the East Bay, Parking, Puchun, Kankin, Idgin, and Tubin, Kausing, Chochenyo, Ohlone-speaking tribal groups of the Alameda and Contra Costa counties. These are the direct ancestors of the lineages enrolled in the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area, whom were missionized into Mission San Francisco, Santa Clara, and San Jose. This greater Bay Area region's Aboriginal territory includes the ancestral and legally unceded lands of the ancestors of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe of the San Francisco Bay Area, who are the successors of the historic, sovereign, federally recognized Verona Band. It is vitally important that we not only recognize the history of the land on which we reside, but also we acknowledge that the Muwekma Ohlone people are alive and flourishing members within the San Francisco Bay Area and surrounding communities today. This land was and continues to be of great historic significance to the Muwekma Ohlone tribe and other familial descendants. We recognize that every citizen residing within the greater Bay Area has and continues to benefit from the use and occupation of the tribe's Aboriginal land since the founding of the city of San Francisco in 1776. We respectfully request that everyone who lives, works, or visits the city and the county of San Francisco and surrounding towns to be respectful of our Aboriginal land and natural habitats, and consistent with our principles of community, diversity, and inclusion, strive to be good citizens on behalf of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. Maki Horshe Ikinan, Utasuk Mata Mak Ewe.
Thank you, and on behalf of the Muwekma Ohlone tribe, we hope you celebrate, honor, and stand in solidarity with all Muwekmas. Muwekma means la gente, the people, in our Chochenyo language. Indigenous tribal communities with their struggles to reverse the adverse colonial legacies affecting all people of color in the Greater Bay Area, California, and the United States, and the Americas, as we gather and reflect on the sacred lands of the ancestral, historic Muwekma Ohlone tribal territory. Ho, thank you so much for allowing me space to read our land acknowledgement. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Charlene, for being with us and for giving us the land acknowledgement and statement.
Thank you so much.
All right. Next up, we have a very, very important guest speaker. Someone who I just today had the pleasure of meeting in person, but have also had the pleasure of working with for quite some time in the Leonard Peltier Official Ad Hoc Committee. So if you would please give a very warm welcome for Jennifer Esquire Jones. She is not only on the board, she's also Leonard Peltier's lawyer. And yes, please give it up for Jennifer. Okay, sure.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's so good to be here with you. I know it's a little chilly outside and you guys are getting a break from the rain, so that's good. We're getting a break from the snow in Denver, so that's all good. Leonard sends his greetings and he asks for you all to continue to fight for him. Fight, 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 he says. And I hope that folks are able to avail themselves of the Truth Out article that came out today about the conditions that many federal prisoners are under, including Leonard. It's really revealing, and I'll give a little update about his health later on. So foremost, I'd like to thank Bound Together Books. Tom, thank you so much. It's been great. Really appreciate you and all the effort you've done to work with the committee and myself. So that's very appreciated. Of course, the Uhuru movement, thank you so much for being here. The NLG of San Francisco, the Mass Incarceration Committee, my co-chairs, Audrey Bumpsey and Sudiana Jawanza. I really appreciate their support as well. Coffee, tea as well. Thank you. It's delicious and warm. Of course, the ad hoc committee, OPM, Dawn, Paulette, Joan, who also contributed, Dan, our executive director. I also want to recognize any former political prisoners who are here or formerly incarcerated folks, and extend our solidarity with those at Red Onion State Prison who are on their hunger strike currently, and those in Alabama who have started their strike today. We thank you. We stand in solidarity with you. When I was a girl, my father used to say when I was down, don't let anyone steal your joy. No one can steal your joy. And when I met my client, Leonard Peltier, it was so clear on so many levels, of course, with the state, that someone was trying to paint over Leonard's sunshine. It was very clear. But he painted through the bars, and his work really encapsulates his transcendence to do that, and to remind ourselves of our humanity with each other. And so when I talk to Leonard, even though now he is currently, as of now, losing his sight, his vision His vision is so, so clear. In many ways, I will share later some of his sentencing statement that I think rings more relevant than ever today. But when we think of Leonard, when we think of his health, when we think of the conditions that he is in, we should also think about his art and what he is trying to contribute with that artwork. So, Toni Morrison actually said that the work of the artist is actually, in some ways, a prophetic one. And so she says, give her art above all else. Some of us may disagree with that, but she says the artist above all is to be revered because the artist reflects back to us our own humanity apart from what the system tells us that we are, what we should be, and it provides us an indwelling, a place to connect to one another across all cultural lines. And I see that in Leonard's art, and I also see his political vision reflected in his art. So I will say, do not give me a pulpit or a podium or a lectern, but give me an artist. Give me an artist like Leonard. So with that, I will share a part of his sentencing statement today. Judge Benson, there is no doubt in my mind or my people's, you are going to sentence me to 2 consecutive life terms. You are and have always been prejudiced against me and any Native Americans who have stood before you. You have openly favored the government all through this trial, and you are happy to do whatever the FBI would want you to do in this case. You are about to perform an act which will close one more chapter in the history of the failure of the United States courts and the failure of the people of the United States to do justice in the case of a Native American. After centuries of murder after murder of millions of my people, brothers and sisters by the white race of America, could I have been wise in thinking you would break that tradition and commit an act of justice? Obviously not, because I should have realized that what I detected was only a very thin layer of dignity and surely not a fine character. I stand before you as a proud man. I feel no guilt. I have done nothing to feel guilty about. I have no regrets of being a Native American activist. Thousands of people in the United States, Canada, and around the world have and will continue to support me to expose the injustice that occurred in this courtroom. I do feel pity for your people that they must live under such an ugly system. Under your system, you are taught greed, racism, and corruption, and the most serious of all, the destruction of our Mother Earth. Under the Native American system, we are taught all people are brothers and sisters, to share wealth with poor and needy, but the most important of all is to respect and preserve the earth. To me, considered to be our mother. We feed from her breast. Our mother gives us life at birth, and when it is time to leave the world, she again takes us back into our womb. But the main thing we are taught is to preserve her for our children and grandchildren, because they are next who will live upon her. No, I'm not the guilty one here, and I should not be called a criminal. The white race of America is the criminal for the destruction of our lands and my people. To hide your guilt from the decent human beings in America and around the world, you will sentence me to 2 consecutive life terms without any hesitation. There are less than 400 federal judges in America for over 200 million Americans. Therefore, you have a very, very powerful and important responsibility, which should be carried out impartially. But you never have been impartial where I was concerned. You have the responsibility of protecting constitutional rights and laws. But where I was concerned, you neglected to even consider me or my Native Americans' constitutional rights. But the most important of all, you have neglected our human rights. If you were impartial, you would have an open mind on all the factual disputes in this case. But you were unwilling to allow even the slightest possibility that a law enforcement officer could lie on the stand. Then how could you possibly be impartial enough to let my lawyers prove how important it is to the FBI to convict a Native American activist in this case? You do not have the ability to see that such a conviction is an important part of the efforts to discredit those who are trying to alert their brothers and sisters to a new trick from the white man, an attempt to destroy what little Indian land remains in the process of extracting our uranium, oil, and other minerals. Again, to cover up your part of this, you will call me a heartless, cold-blooded murderer who deserves life sentences consecutively. I cannot expect a judge who has openly tolerated the conditions I have been jailed in to make an impartial decision on whether I should be sentenced to concurrent or consecutive life terms. You have been made aware of the following conditions which I have had to endure at Grand Forks County Jail since the time of the verdict. 1, I was denied access to a phone call with my attorneys concerning my appeals. 2, I was locked in solitary confinement without shower facilities, soap, toilets, sheets, or pillows. 3, the food was uneatable, what little there was. 4, my family, brothers, sisters, mother, and father who traveled long distance from the reservation were denied visitations. No human being should be subject to such treatment while you parade around pretending to be decent, impartial, and law-abiding. You knowingly allowed your fascist deputy, Marshall, to play stormtrooper. Again, the only conclusion that comes to mind is you have, and always knew, you would sentence me to 2 consecutive life terms. Finally, I honestly believe that you made up your mind a long time ago that I was guilty, and you were going to sentence me to the maximum sentence permitted under law. But this does not surprise me, because you are a high-ranking member of the white racist American establishment, which has consistently said, "In God we trust," while they went about the business of murdering my people and attempting to destroy our culture. The only thing I am guilty of, and of which I stand convicted for, was being Chippewa and Sioux blood, and for believing in our sacred religion.
Thank you, Jennifer. Sorry about that. Up next, we have Bakari, who is from the African People's Socialist Party of Oakland. So please give it up.
All right.
I just wanted to appreciate the bookstore, Brown Books, and to thank Tom for opening the door for us, as Jennifer said, and to also thank the official Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee for inviting us here. My name is Bakri Olatunji. I'm the Western Region representative of the African People Socialist Party, an organization that was founded here in the United States in 1972. Right about the time when we saw many a revolutionary being murdered here inside the U.S. borders. Right in Oakland, California, we saw 17-year-old Bobby Hutton, who was a young member of the Black Panther Party, who was shot down in cold blood right here across the bay. We see years later, Huey Newton himself gunned down in the same streets in West Oakland. And not only that, but we see the correlation as we hear the thing about Leonard Peltier and about the FBI attacks there with the, excuse me, against the Lakota people. And the stance that Leonard took is the stance that all people should be taking. Because if the truth be told, it is the colonizer, it is settler colonialism that happens right here on this soil. And as a member of the African People's Socialist Party, I am responsible for 13 states here in the Western region. And every last one of them states is part of the settler land that was stolen from the indigenous people. Today, you don't see and run into indigenous people walking up and down the street very often. Most of them are put on these Indian reservations where the Lakota people are supposed to have sovereignty, where the FBI came onto their land and murdered and brutally murdered people, as you hear Leonard say. But as Africans, we are domestically colonized here in the US, and we see the colonial police coming to our communities every day, brutalizing us, demoralizing us, murdering us. And I don't have to say much about that because everybody saw what happened to George Floyd. We saw what happened to the young man in Fruitvale Station over here some years ago. This is an everyday occurrence. This is nothing new. So when I hear Leonard and what Leonard is talking about, it reminds me of my own experience. And the thing that we have to do is what was said earlier, fight, fight, fight. And that fight is going to look a lot of different ways to a lot of different people. But the thing that I appreciate as an organizer and someone who organized me is Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who brought me to political life. I grew up here in Oakland, California. I was influenced at an early age by the Black Panther Party, but it was the African People's Socialist Party that basically brought me an ideology, a philosophy as a young African growing up in Oakland, who saw problems but didn't understand them, who felt the pain of my people, who asked the mother why we can't live over there, or why can't we have this like they have these a big house over there. So the reality is that I have a philosophy now, one that informs me as an African man growing up in Oakland, that we have to fight for African self-determination, to feed, to house, and to clothe ourselves. And how do we go about that? We take the mystique, we take the mystery out of this place called America. We call it for what it is. And I heard Jennifer just read something where Leonard so eloquently called it for what it is. They are murdered. They are the murderers. And we, as the colonized, have to end this parasitic system where the whole white world exists on this pedestal that's from sucking the blood of the indigenous people here of this land in which we stand, that sucks the blood of the African people all over the world. Africa is the most minerally rich place on the planet Earth today. And we see all of these places in Silicon Valley that you can drive to, Dell, Apple, whatever, over there stealing these minerals, paying people a few cents a day, and some people are lucky if they get a bowl of rice to live day to day. That's the existence that we see this colonial mode of production doing right now today. And we must organize people to take a stand, just as they must take a stand for Leonard. And people must support and get Leonard up out of prison today, this year. And the reality is, as Africans, we have to bring political life back into the African community. And that's the beautiful thing about it, because Bobby Hutton's not here anymore. Huey Newton's not here anymore, but Chairman Omali Yeshitela is here today. And he's been doing this work for 50 years, trying to rebuild the Black Revolution of the 60s, but not only rebuild it, to complete the Black Revolution of the 60s. The organization was founded in 1972, and it is still here today. And what year is this? 2024? I get tired, lost over the time. So we talking over 50 years of relentless struggle to, and I look at the chairman like when I heard Lenin say, give me an organization of revolutionaries and I'll overturn Russia. And that's exactly what we're doing. We are looking for an organization of revolutionaries to overturn colonialism, to overturn U.S. colonialism, and to build the people state. Because the power is in the people. Contrary to what people might think, the power is in the people. Huey Newton was involved in a shooting in Oakland, California, 1966. And they said that Huey killed that pig, right? They put Huey in jail, right? Guess what? Huey got out of jail. And guess why Huey got out of jail? I remember that. Free Huey. Free Huey, the power of the people. There was thousands of people in the street. And that is what we have to do. We have to take this fight to the people. We have to take the fight to the people. But you have to have a philosophy, an ideology, and a belief in your long-term view. So that's the thing that we have to do. And as a young African growing up here in Oakland, if I didn't come across the African People's Socialist Party, I would not be here today speaking in support of the Leonard Peltier struggle. I would probably be somewhere over in Oakland doing the things that young Africans do who haven't come into political life. But I want to really appreciate the African People's Socialist Party that's under attack itself, where the FBI attacked our organization in July 29, 2022.
That's right.
And most people know, I know Jennifer and the program that we had, the webinar last week, powerful statement, powerful webinar. And I just really appreciate the fact that we are winning. We will win.
That's right.
I just wanted to say those things. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Very inspiring words. We do have another speaker for you. Before we go into that speaker, I just wanted to make some brief announcements on behalf of the ad hoc committee. We do have a flyer back there on the cork board. There's a QR code that you can all scan, and that will take you to our link tree that will connect you to our website, freeleonardpeltiernow.org. If you have not gone there, please do so. We have many calls to action on there for Leonard. We have our Action Network that has a newsletter, has a bunch of different petitions you can sign. There's a bunch of stuff happening on the website. Please connect with us on social media. If you scan the QR code and go to our link tree, all these things I'm mentioning are up on the link tree. For those of you on Instagram, we're at I Am Peltier. On Facebook, we are at I Am Peltier Ad Hoc. So please connect with us on social media. You know, everything that the committee has going on in the new year, you can definitely find out about that stuff on social media. It's also on the website. So I just wanted to give everyone a quick reminder of that. And without further ado, let's get into our last speaker, Penny from Hands Off Uhuru.
All right.
Stand up. Uhuru.
Uhuru.
Thank you, OPM. I really want to salute Jennifer. It's an honor to be able to know you, and thank you very much. I just want to start by saying Uhuru. Uhuru means freedom. And I want to salute that powerful presentation of Bakri Olatunji. Very inspiring. And I want to also join in saluting the incredible words of Leonard Peltier tonight, to just the powerful words, and that, you know, I am under the leadership, I am the chair of the African People's Solidarity Committee, which is an organization of white people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party, which, as has been said, is also coming under very serious attack right now. And I'm very happy to be here. I feel that I'm among friends and comrades here. And, you know, we are under, I'm going to talk about our attack in just a minute, but I do want to say that we have to make a commitment that goes out to all of the millions of people who support Leonard Peltier, that he must come out of prison this year.
Woo!
We have to say, not one more year.
Woo!
So,
Before his birthday.
all right.
Before his birthday.
Yes, before his birthday. And the reason that Leonard Peltier is still in prison as a political prisoner, as a freedom fighter, that should inspire all of us to take up the struggle against colonialism, is because this government does not want to admit that the ground that we are on is soaking in the blood of the indigenous people.
That's right.
That we live in a system that is built on the enslavement of African people and the genocide against the indigenous people.
That's right.
And that does not go away. It is what Chairman Omali Yeshitela has called the colonial mode of production. It is not a policy. It is not something that just happened in the past. It is the DNA and the essence of the system that we live in.
That's right.
And it is also the understanding that myself, as a white person, that I am part of the colonizer. I am part of the colonizer, but under the leadership of the African Revolution and the revolutionary movements of the colonized people here and around the world, that we can jump off of that pedestal and stand in solidarity and work for reparations to African people and for indigenous people to have their land again. And, and it is very emotional because just to think about the conditions that Leonard Peltier faced, and that he has to be in prison since almost the very day that I joined the movement in 1976. He has been in prison the entire time that I have been in political life, that I have been able to understand the world as it really is. And for that, I do have to salute my leadership, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who has fought tirelessly for 60 years for the liberation of Africa and African people. And he has stood for the unity and solidarity with all oppressed and colonized peoples on the planet Earth.
Right.
And one of the incredible things that he did was answer the question, what to do about the white people? And he organized and, he created an organization of white people under the leadership of the African People's Socialist Party to be able to have a principled relationship to African people and the peoples on the planet Earth. And it's been an incredible experience and journey, and I salute him. And to say that I was even able to meet Comrade Jennifer Opium, Paulette and Ward and others through the Hands Off Uhuru Committee, of which the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee is such an important and critical and close friend of the Uhuru movement. And I feel that it is as one. And that I know that Chairman Omali Yeshitela, the Uhuru movement, the African People's Socialist Party, has a deep commitment that Leonard Peltier must be free this year. And remember, a long time ago, I just want to say, because I see Comrade Redbeard there, and I know you remember this, that the African People's Socialist Party led a struggle, an incredible struggle, in the 1970s and 80s to free Desi Woods.
That's right.
And she was an African working class woman in Georgia, in rural Georgia, who a white man tried to rape her and a friend. She fought him for his own gun, took his gun, killed him, took the money out of his wallet, and they left. And she was facing 22 years in prison. And even in Oakland, there is a street named after her Nation of Islam name, which was Rashida Muhammad. And she was known and loved because when she got out, she came to Oakland, where the African People's Socialist Party was headquarters at that time. But I remember that we had a campaign.
Yes, we did.
Not one more year. We said not one more year. We made a promise that she would be out. And it might not have been exactly 1 year, but she got out very soon after that because we have to have the will, as Leonard said himself, to fight, to take this on and to carry the load that he has carried on his shoulders for the last 50 years, that we have to take that up and we have to go in to the white community. And I do know that, just seeing the struggle to free Leonard Peltier over so many decades, there's been brilliant, amazing, and powerful work. And that it is this colonial state that is attempting to keep him in prison.
That's right.
But the people can get him out. And we have to say that we make that commitment, that he must come out this year.
Woo.
So I want to say something about our case. So to say, first of all, again, Chairman Omali Yeshitela, who has fought, he is still fighting. He has fought for one thing, and that is the liberation of Africa and African people around the world. On the continent of Africa, there are organizations of the African People's Socialist Party in Africa, in South Africa, and Namibia, and several other countries, Ghana, and other places, as well as throughout the U.S., in the Caribbean, and in Europe, of Africans in Europe. And the chairman has fought for this. He has worked for this. He is 82 years old, but you would never know that because he is the youngest person that I know. He has incredible energy because of this goal that he wants to see, the liberation of Africa and African people in his lifetime. And when we look around the world and we see what is happening, the uprising, the incredible uprising of the Palestinian people,
Yeah.
and we can see that this colonial system is weak. It is weak. It doesn't have the power of the people. We have to.
That's right.
We have to take this on.
That's right.
We have to make this happen. And that the chairman is under indictment because the state is saying that suddenly in 2014, which he has been struggling since 1965, that suddenly in 2014, he became an agent of Russia.
Shame.
What? It is insulting. It is colonialist and white nationalist to even say that he wouldn't have, or any African would need a Russian to tell them what their conditions are. But they're serious about we're going to go to trial now because the motion to dismiss was overturned, but we're going to win.
Yes.
And the chairman's strategy is to put the state on trial.
That's right.
We are putting the state on trial. So just a couple more things. So along with the Chairman Omali Yeshitela, I am under indictment, and my comrade Jesse Neville, who is the chair of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement, we are under indictment as well. And what they are saying they have this thing in law called the overt acts. That is your crime, your acts of crime. Our acts of crime, we're exercising free speech.
That's right.
What? Yes, this is an attack on free speech, and I can guarantee you, if Chairman Omali Yeshitela is convicted, there will be no more free speech in this country as we know it, because he is a test case for that. And we cannot let that happen. And they're saying that her overt acts are a reparations tour. We have done, reparations tours for about 35 years. Every year we do a reparations tour, a tour to win, this whole question of reparations. And also that they're saying that the party had a petition around genocide of African people, but they're saying that the Russians told them to write that. I mean, it's absurd, but they do it. And this is what they do. This is what COINTELPRO was. This is what, you can read in the Church Commission of all of, the covert attacks and overt attacks on the African liberation movement and on the struggle of colonized people here inside the US and around the world.
That's right.
And so, we're fighting this. And the African People's Socialist Party built the Hands Off Uhuru Fight Back Coalition. And that's how I met, just Comrade Jennifer, just such a really important part of that coalition, and just the unity and dedication also from Hands Off Uhuru for the case of Leonard Peltier, because that must, that also must be a victory of the people, and we can win. And Dawn, it was so great to hear you, and I really was looking forward to meeting you tonight. So it's unfortunate that we didn't actually get to meet in person. I really appreciate, your presentation and also reading the words of Leonard Peltier. But I want to say one thing. Yes, we can fight the FBI. Yes, we can.
Definitely.
And we have to fight the FBI.
Yeah.
So, and we are, and we're winning. And we are incredibly confident that we are going to win this trial, that the African liberation movement, the anti-colonial struggle, and the whole sense in the world today of the uprising of the oppressed and colonized, and the ability of white people to take a principled stand, to say, no, I have a right. I have a free speech right to organize for reparations to African people.
Woo! That's
Period.
right.
Chairman Omali Shatella has the anti-colonial free speech movement leads that, and he has the right to fight for the liberation of Africa and African people everywhere. So, I'm confident of the future. We are winning.
Yes, we are.
Will win.
Yes.
Venceremos.
Uhuru.
Uhuru. Free Leonard Peltier. Not one more year. Uhuru.
Thank you, Penny. You want to do it now?
Hi, everybody. My name is Donna Wallach. I'm with I'm also with the ad hoc committee, but I'm also with the Leonard Peltier support group of Silicon Valley. We have been active for Leonard since 1999. So we do 4 events a year for Leonard Peltier. Because this was arranged here in San Francisco, so we're here tonight. Our next event for Leonard will be the 26th of June. I don't know what day of the week that is, but since it's summertime and it stays light late, we do it in a park. So it doesn't cost any money. It's a potluck event. We ask people to bring food to share, and we have speakers. Sometimes we even have Aztec dancers and music entertainment. So we usually do it from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., which it's still light outside at the park. It's at the Frank Bromhall Park in Willow Street in San Jose, which is part of the Willow Glen neighborhood. So I know most of y'all live up here in the Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, but we came from San Jose today up here, so y'all can come on down to San Jose. And it stays light. It's not going to be raining. We'll have nice weather down there. Well, probably it's too hot for me, but we would be very honored if the Haru group would want to come and also speak. We don't know where you're going to be with your trial, but definitely we invite you to come and speak. So I didn't make any leaflets for this. My weekend was crazy, and yesterday and today was really busy too. So I'm just very honored to be here today. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And yes, speaking of the charges against the Yahoo, we did want to show our support and solidarity on behalf of the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee and do the traditional pass the hat thing. So anybody who can or is willing to contribute, please do so, and we'll go ahead and pass my hat. Go Niners! So we can go ahead and get that passed around. It's for now. It's for Yahoo and for the charges against them to help facilitate with lawyer fees and whatnot. Yes, of course. So we're getting ready to kind of bring things to an end, and we will have a kind of question and answer thing in a moment. I just wanted to briefly say that, thank you, Penny, for your very inspiring words. It just very much reminded myself, how people like me and my sister were very fortunate enough to grow up in environments like this, in, very radical, anarchist, revolutionary environments where we were lucky enough to have our parents teach us about these things. Not everyone is lucky enough to be in those type of surroundings like you were speaking about. If you hadn't been turned on to certain things, you'd probably be in Oakland right now doing what young Black men and what young people of color in the ghettos all across America do when they have not been enlightened and shown a different way of life and living. So with that being said, we should, definitely we need to free Leonard Peltier. This has been far too long, and it's not out of our grasp and out of our reach, And with that being said, we should all be supporting all political prisoners, because this isn't, I know it seems like, oh, how are we going to get, Leonard Peltier out of prison, or how are we going to get, whatever political prisoner we may be talking about out of prison? But it is possible, and it has been done. People like Joel Mutakim, who's started the Jericho movement, which I am also part of as well. He was freed. Yeah. Sundiata, there's many political prisoners where pressure was applied. Enough noise was made in the street, enough commotion, enough of an uproar to create a spotlight on the situation was made in order for that to happen. So it's always been taught to me to, resist authority, to question authority, and to speak up and to use our voice. So with that being said, I did want to share a little bit of music with you guys, if it's a quick...
Yeah, is there one or two specific targets you're focusing on now that you want people to participate in?
In terms of Leonard?
Yeah.
Jennifer could probably speak more to that, but I would definitely say that if you haven't been to our website, freeleonardpeltiernow.org, that would be a great place to start. Did you want to elaborate on that a little bit, Jennifer, or?
Like an individual, what can I do? That's
So
most effective at this
you can write to the Board of Prisons to tell them to stop the lockdowns. He's in constant lockdown. He's been in constant lockdown now for months. He spends more time locked down than outside. So they're locked down, especially on the so-called holidays and then on weekends.
Is there a time, are you?
Yeah, if you go to the website, there were names and phone numbers to contact to tell them stop the lockdown. But they're asking, don't use his name because they'll just punish him for it. So just say, I'm against, you have to stop the lockdowns, as if for all the prisoners.
And I can, me and Jennifer and some of the other people, we can, you and anyone else who might be interested at a good, starting point or things that they can do to get involved and to help Leonard, we can definitely lead you in the right direction in a little bit. So if you guys would just give me a moment, I'm going to get the sound going here.
Sabah.
Bound Together. It's time to free Leonard Peltier. Hey, yo. Do this for Leonard and we do it for the culture. For our ancestors, those who came before us. Stolen sisters, they cannot ignore us. Still fighting to save the life for us. Do this for Leonard and we do it for the culture. For our ancestors, those who came before us. Stolen sisters, hey, bound together. Leonard told me it's gonna take we for him to get free. So will you stand with me? This is for the culture, for our ancestors. Yeah, and OGs before us, runaway slaves and war chiefs warned us. We want that land back, this is far from over. Mother Earth soldiers who like the season, rhyme with that reason, educated leading. I am Peltier for every year that justice done feared. This is a wake-up call from far and near, from that Pine Ridge to the Trail of Tears. Our unity is what they fear. The media been lying and lying to you, my dear. Why you think we never hear about the missing Native women? Same reason that an elder's still in prison. Do this for Leonard and we do it for the culture. For our ancestors, those who came before us. Stolen sisters, they cannot ignore us. Still fighting to save the life for us. Do this for Leonard and we do it for the culture. For our ancestors, those who came before us. Stolen sisters, they cannot ignore us. Still fighting. Bound Together, are y'all rocking with me?
Oh yeah.
It's your boy Opium Sabah.
Yeah. All right.
We gonna raise these vibrations for Uncle Leonard right now. Big ups to my brother Jim Page. Peace, y'all. Let me borrow your ear and tell you a story about Leonard Peltier. Pine Ridge 75. What would you do if the feds came shooting at your family, dude? Would you stand up to protect women and kids, plus the elders who sleep right where you live? Cause that's all that he did. So they made him the villain and they gave him a bid. Forced affidavits from underage kids. I guess they couldn't pin it on the first Indians. Yo, yeah. And it's just like that, we gon' free Peltier and all of that. Let me borrow your ear. What's up, Bound Together? Y'all still rocking with me?
Oh yeah.
All right.
We're rocking.
We gonna keep it going.
Sabah.
Hey, we still here, y'all.
We're here.
Dedicated to Leonard Peltier.
All right.
And dedicated to all of you for holding space with us today for Leonard.
Right on.
Yes, yes.
Activists are calling for President Biden to grant clemency to America's longest-held Indigenous prisoner, Leonard Peltier.
In the spirit of Crazy Horse. Protect the women and the children and the elders, of course. The creator's the source. Took a land by force. I never lived by the laws of a court. What about the missing Indigenous women? The boarding schools that stole our children? Free the land, TP, no stealing. Never break the sacred hoop. We building, want our land back. This an eviction. I speak with conviction for those in prison. Read between the lines, there's a message in the ink. Team ciphers, reimagine how we think. But there's poison in my sink. Leonard ain't free, so I strategize and think. Yeah, strategize and think. We still here. We still here. We still here. Free Peltier. Everything that glitter is not gold. Wisdom of the ancients is foretold. Messages between the lines untold. We still here.
All right.
Yes, yes. You know, sometimes, y'all, you gotta follow the ways that the ancestors paved for us. You gotta follow the ways of the ancients. So, yo, we follow the ways that the ancients paved. We walk the path that ancestors laid. No. We follow the ways that the ancients laid. We walk the path that ancestors paved. Don't do. We don't do. Hey, hey. This is from my uncle, Leonard Peltier. He was locked down for 48 years for a crime not committed on America's fear. The Indian man who was first here. I named him the fall guy. I do not believe the lies. Free yourself, open your mind. I'd say it's about time. On a land I proudly stand from Ohlone, Turtle Island. We refuse to remain silent. What about sis who's gone and missing? America the free, what a contradiction. If we all equal, what am I missing? No, for real, what am I missing? Stand up now, hold position. Yeah. That ancestors pay. We don't do. We don't do. Fight for letter, we don't do. Yes, yes.
Sabah.
Thank you, thank you. Bound Together.
Free them all, let the wall of Jericho fall. Free them all, the two, move me out.
Free them all, free them all. That Jericho movement gon' free them all. Behind these walls, behind them walls, that Jericho movement. Justice, education, retribution, integrity. This coalition organized, and that's a recipe. Honoring all those who led before and next to me. From the BPP to that AIM movement. That's the type of schooling that my pops was doing. Peace to all prisoners of dictator politics. We fight to abolish it, dedicate to stopping it. Free them all is the call, the movement Jericho. Revolution not televised, but in stereo. Heard being woke was the first call to action. I've been doing that since before I knew fractions, Mr. President. On behalf of the residents, free Mumia and Leonard Peltier. Y'all been doing this for over 500 years. Free Bill Dunn and my Udo Oso Blanco. In solidarity, Sabah, till I go.
Free them all.
Free them all, free them all. That Jericho movement gon' free them all. Behind these walls, behind them walls, that Jericho movement gon' free them all. Free all political prisoners, y'all. Free Leonard Peltier. And free your motherfucking selves. Hey, yo. How can we rest when the city's under siege and they making people leave? Ethnic cleansing, stirring up tension, catching us slipping and then ethnic cleansing. How can we rest when the city's under siege? Hey, Sabah mind state, I'm an anarchist. Fuck the police, burn the cannabis. They took us out our homes in which we grown. Then the techies came through like Columbus clones. When the Rock syndrome, when the drones come home, you stand on your own or die alone. Skynet is active, so never take me captive. I got startup beef with fake ass vegans drinking on chai tea. You soon will see Mission Street Algerians since '83. I'm the rose that grew with a mural speed, right where the gang wars used to be. It's us against them, never sucker free. They killing the hood and diversity. They need to free LP. How can you rest when the city's under siege and they making people leave? Ethnic cleansing, stirring up tension, catching us slipping and then How can we rest when the city's in the siege and they making people leave? Stirring up tension, catching us slipping, and then ethnic cleansing.
Sabah.
Hey y'all, my name is Opium Sabah. Thank you for letting me rock with you and letting me be your host tonight. Thank you to all of the guest speakers. Peace to everyone who's joining us virtually online right now. Give it up one more time for all of you for being here and holding space with us. And most importantly, let's give it up for our brother, elder, uncle, Leonard Peltier. That pretty much concludes the event for tonight. We do have some questions and answers, I guess, if anyone has questions, or I think maybe you have an announcement to make.
Announcement, yeah. Thank you so much. This has been such a powerful program. My name is Wendy, and I'm a proud member of the Uhuru Solidarity Movement. We're really proud to sponsor an event coming up on the 17th in Oakland. So hopefully you guys can make it over to the other side of the bay. We will actually have Don Lawson there from the Leonard Peltier Ad Hoc Committee, as well as Chairwoman Penny Hess, and we invite you, Opium, to come and to perform. And so I will pass these flyers out. I also have a flyer for No More Genocide in Our Name, the Uhuru Solidarity Movement Convention that's in St. Louis, but it's also going to be online. So I'm just very moved by this program, and thank you for letting me announce.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe 2 people behind us.
Were there any questions in relation to anything that any of the guest speakers spoke about? All right. Well, I guess that concludes the guest speakers and the performance. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Definitely feel free to come up and talk to us. And if you need to be led in the right direction towards the website or the social media or calls to action or anything like that, definitely please feel free to come up and talk to us. Again, if you're tech savvy, we got the QR code over there. All you have to do is scan it. It should take you right to the link of our link tree, and that'll connect you to the website and different calls to action and social media and all that. And on behalf of myself, Jennifer, the Ad Hoc Committee, and Bound Together Books, thank you so much for being here. And can we give Tom and Bound Together a big, big thank you? And it's great to see you guys have been in the community, having this great space with these revolutionary books and fuel for our minds, having been here all these years. Thanks for hosting this and letting us be here.
Thank you.
We have some more coffee if you'd like some. It's a small pot, but I'm willing to do.
Yeah,
That's
why. Yeah.
Thank you.
He's very upbeat for when he's under indictment. Great to be here. Except now everyone's like leaving town. Well, yes. Everybody out. Yeah, that's right. The center of Uhuru University. Me too. I'll see you around.
Good piece.
Oh yeah, where'd you go?
Like right at the live stream. I don't know if it's still on. Yeah. Sorry. Like standing right.
And it's great to see you, Donna. It's like been since like you remember coming down to some meetings.
You're not funny though, right?
I think I also saw you up here. Like it's been years.
Yeah, no. I noticed you earlier when you walked in. It was good to see you here.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, my sister died.
Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah, I want to go on the link
Not a
tree
blood
and see
sister,
what.
but really good friend.
Hi.
So I know that's devastating.
I lost a number of friends. I lost some survivors, but I met a number of
Imperialist disease, right?
Yeah, to give you some of these posters.
and I'm an income support provider.
Yeah, I think
So I look for people who have disabilities and they can't help themselves. And so
We are gonna put one in there.
just in your face every day. In your face every day. When you work with people.
Do you want to? Yes, we want to put out.
Yeah. How impossible it is.
It's like, it's
Oh, I
hard
know.
enough to deal with the system when you're a healthy person.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you're not a healthy person,
Are you
you're
gonna
in
go
constant pain, and you have to struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. It's just,
It's too much.
it is a crime against, it's a crime against humanity, it's a crime against peace. And it's a
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my family is the South Bay, so I'll definitely be looking out for that event. And,
I know. Yeah, that's how I feel. I know.
I'm excited for you.
No, I know that's
Okay.
my
Will it-
selfish side where I'm like, yeah.
On Lower Street.
Yeah,
Is the other kind of.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do now?
Right now, I ain't got enough for him.
Yeah.
You guys open up together.
I came with Wendy.
You know,
Yeah. What do you think?
well, I will, I'll be there in March.
Yeah.
You want something?
Sorry.
Actually, I'll just put it in this book.
San Francisco, 20 years, 25.
Okay, I'll keep your accent.
Yeah, still have it. Yeah.
We all have accents. We all have
Yeah, it's
accents.
over.
Yeah, exactly. We all have accents. We've got the funny ones, California, right?
I know, you all sound the same to me.
It's bland. Yeah.
Area keeps the rear page. From New Orleans or, I don't know, Wisconsin.
Anyway, good for you.
You too, Bob. I missed you on Tuesday morning. We need a, pick up one way. Well, Americans, I think, don't. Yeah. I can tell them.
Please.
These guys are just.
I gotta get out of the corner anyway. So just,
You've been playing the new music?
yeah. No, not recently.
Not recently?
Nothing.
Yeah, no. Yeah, okay.
Because we put it on our
Wendy question. So I gave two.
Okay.
That's mostly for my. That's mostly for Leonard Peltier, other indigenous stuff and other stuff.
Okay.
And then I have another one that I focus on Palestine.
Oh, you're a busy person.
I'm overloaded with emails and now I can't believe it, I'm on different WhatsApp groups and signals.
Oh, no.
Like,
There's
there's
so
so
much.
much. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Where, how are you affiliated? Are you in the Athens committee?
I'm, yeah, just during.
I know.
How'd you hear?
So I moved back to the United States from living in occupied Palestine.
Yeah, so we're doing outreach from 9 to 10. Did you get an email?
Yes, I want to.
Maybe we can all have
Yeah, let's do
I
it.
don't know how to just roll it out by now.
I live in occupied Palestine.
Okay. It's okay. Bye. Thank you. So good to see you. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.